Hello everyone, and welcome to this week's Hump-Day Hangout. We're your hosts for today. I'm Dylan Kearins.
And I'm Hayley Pickering, and joining us today is the coordinator of the 3-Minute Thesis, the UAW Women's Representative, and the Civil Engineering Society. Share the Dignity's Big Bloody Survey has recently revealed that 77% of students in TAFE and uni are experiencing period poverty. Today is the UAW's female representative, Ella, to talk to us about it more.
As the women's representative at UAW, Ella, what does your role entail?
So I'm on the Student Advisory Council, which is the peak student representative body at the uni, and it kind of just is a collection of students from a diverse range of backgrounds, and we have people representing different faculties and different student bodies at the uni. So I'm quite honoured to be able to be the women's representative on SAC and kind of uplift the voices of female identifying students at the uni and help address chronic and systemic issues that female students are facing from a diverse perspective, whether that be in faculties where women are underrepresented, so like engineering and science, but also in other social areas, which is why I've been quite focused on implementing period products on campus. So I try to work with students and staff and just kind of lead like a large population of the uni.
So with that initiative with the period products on campus, whereabouts is it located and what does it entail?
So putting free period products around the uni is something that multiple people have wanted, and other student reps have worked really hard to try and implement in the past. But unfortunately, when you just ask for period products to be implemented campus-wide, which is the end goal, there's just no funding for that, and the uni can't really fund that practically on a large scale. So basically what I thought would be a good avenue for kind of working on expanding the reach of having period products on campus is just to start small. And so basically I already knew the director of the library, Margie, and she's a really lovely woman, and she's super involved in social issues at the uni. And I know that the library, with it being the most central building on campus, has funding, and it has private funding that they can kind of have more freedom to decide what they want to do with it. And I just pitched the idea to the team of running a pilot, a short-term pilot to collect data that I can use to apply for longer-term funding. And they were really receptive of it, and they've been amazing collaborators with Project Period. So that's kind of what we started with, the period product pilot at the library, as just a means of seeing the demand, collecting data, and then now I'm trying to expand the reach further.
Is this something you want to see students get heavily involved with, whether it's through, do you guys take donations even from people that want to help out?
Yeah, definitely. Last semester was when we started the pilot at the library, and I've also been working with campus accommodation, and recently Campus East installed a Share the Dignity dispenser, which is really great, and so we're trying to work on expanding that to other campus accommodations. The library pilot was insanely successful, and the response from it was a lot greater than I had expected, and I think it was a good reminder for me as a student rep, because I often go to these formal meetings, and oftentimes I'm just interacting with other student reps and staff, and I forget that there's thousands of students at the uni who are just as passionate and also would love to help out. And I ran a survey at the same time as the pilot in the library, and it got over 400 responses in just 3 weeks. And people were so amazingly receptive to it, and they wanted to help out. And I think now I'm really trying to find other means of funding So if there's any way that like students can just kind of spread the word of it and speak out on it more, I think funding becomes a lot easier to access when there's a very obvious demand for, you know, the need for products.
So how would you want like students like us or even the UOW TV team to, you know, push the uni to help supporting something like this, or even just get students to help out? Like, what's the way to get this pushed through?
I think just spread the word. I think there's various student bodies at the uni. I know WUSA, the undergraduate student representative team, are also really trying to work on it, and they have a women's space that provides free period products. I think just, you know, speaking to other people. We have free period products in the women's space. We also have free period products in the Student Success Hub, and we're going to continue the pilot this semester too at the library. And we also have a dispenser at Campus East, and we also got a dispenser at Pulse. And so we're definitely not at the end goal yet, but we have so many areas now where free period products are being provided. And I think just spreading the word that they're there, using the facilities, giving your feedback. You know, if you did go to the Pulse dispenser, just going to the team and telling them, you know, how that impacted you, sharing your story and raising awareness. And I want to keep running more surveys. So if you ever see like survey QR codes in the library again or elsewhere at the uni, please fill them out, because that data directly impacts whether we get funding or not for it long term. So I think just like being active in terms of using the initiative.
Cool. Thank you so much for coming in and chatting with us. It's been a pleasure. We can only wish you luck with stuff like this. We've also gotten our reporter Paige to walk around campus and hear what students are saying and see if they're aware of the initiative and what they think.
Thanks, Dylan. I'm here today on UOW campus, and I'm going to be speaking with students about the Period Project and their thoughts on the Big Bloody Survey. So did you know that UOW is supplying free sanitary products?
Yeah, I do actually.
How did you find that out?
I went to the bathroom.
Awesome. Have you used those products before?
Yeah, I have. It's so lucky because like sometimes you just get caught out and it's like, don't know what to do. And sometimes you're like in the store by yourself. So you're like, but yeah, no, it was really, really helpful.
So did you know that UOW has been giving out free sanitary products in the library bathrooms?
No, I didn't. I've seen signs, but I didn't notice it in the bathrooms.
And have you ever had to miss university or work due to having a period?
Yeah, I have, and it's hard to also find the motivation to study at home during the week when I have my period.
Have you ever had to miss uni or work due to period?
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
How has that impacted on your finances or studies?
It's impacted on my studies quite a bit, especially when I was in high school. I was missing a lot, and so I didn't do as well as I could have. And it's not been as big a problem at uni, but it definitely has been a little bit of a problem. So.
Now, let's move into our weekly chat with the UOW club. This week, we are visited by the UOW Civil Engineering Society. We have with us President Grady and Vice President Casey. For those who don't know, what is civil engineering?
So civil engineering is the construction and design and even maintenance of buildings, roads, water catchments, everything pretty much that you use in a day-to-day basis. There's different varieties of civil engineering. So you've got structural, which takes care of the bridges and buildings, and you've got infrastructure, which takes care of roads. It's just a very vast discipline of various different types of civil engineering.
Yeah. So Casey, we understand that there's an event running tonight. Let us know about that. What's happening?
Yeah, so we're running a student meets industry night. Basically what's happening is we've invited in a range of different engineering companies who are going to share some presentations, set up some stalls, and it'll give students an opportunity to walk around and network with the representatives. They'll be doing some presentations as well, so the students can learn a little bit more about their company and the type of work they're involved in. And it's just a great opportunity for networking and getting connections. I think especially with having to do placements at uni and look for work after uni as well, the connections you make even now, if it's just your first or second year, will last for many years to come. So it comes in very handy, especially looking for that going on that job search, I guess.
Is this a new initiative from the Civil Engineering Society, or is this something that's been going on for years now?
Yeah, I think this specific event we haven't seen since before COVID. So we jumped on to the society after COVID started. I think industry events and networking have been something that we've tried to do every semester. We find that the students are more likely to attend and more keen to be involved when we've got industry there and the opportunity for them to network and meet new people as well. So it's definitely something that's been happening for a long time, but we are now looking to develop it, and it is getting bigger as time goes on and as we're expanding the society as well.
Cool. In what ways are you looking at expanding it? Like how are you getting new people into the society, I guess?
Yeah, so the biggest thing that we've done this year was bring on some sponsors. So our club's now sponsored by a couple of different companies. So I guess that side of things has given us more funding to run bigger and better events. And a big part of that has been reaching students as well. So we've found advertising events and speaking to students in classes has been the best way to get across to them. And actually share what we're doing, because otherwise the word isn't necessarily getting out and students aren't actually knowing that these events are on. So having the funding behind us has helped with expanding the events themselves and the opportunities for us to be able to communicate with students and run events that they're actually interested in attending.
Cool. Well, thank you guys for coming in. It's been wonderful having you for a chat. The 3-minute thesis competition took place just 1 month ago, and over the coming weeks here at Hump-Day Hangout, we'll be hearing from the presenters, hearing their thesis, seeing their presentation, and learning a bit about that.
Emily is the research coordinator developer, and she's in charge of the 3-minute theses, and she runs the competition. So, Emily, tell us a bit about that.
Thanks so much for having me. Yes, so my job is to coordinate programs of learning for HDR candidates, and 3MT is an event which takes place in a larger program designed to improve HDR candidates' communication skills. So 3MT, or 3-minute thesis competition, was initially developed by the University of Queensland, and it really is just an opportunity to celebrate the work that our HDR candidates do here at universities. So a typical PhD thesis would take approximately 80,000 words to write, which would equates to about 9 hours to read non-stop. So trying to condense a 9-hour presentation into just 3 minutes is a really, really challenging task. But that's what the 3MT is about, being able to communicate your research to a broad audience.
If you could let us know, for the people that don't know, what makes a 3-minute thesis good and engaging? Like, what makes a winner?
That's a great question. I am biased because I do love all of the presentations that we hear at 3MT, from the faculty heats all the way through to the UOW final. I think what makes a really good 3MT presentation is how good you are at telling a story. You need to be able to, 3 minutes is not a lot of time, so from the minute you start talking, you have to have grabbed your audience's attention. And you need to make sure you've got their attention all the way to the end of your 3 minutes. The better 3MT presentations have got an engaging beginning, a well-defined and easily explainable middle, and a good ending. Being able to convey the importance of somebody's research to an audience. That's the when people do that well, they've got a really good 3MT presentation.
In the future weeks, we're going to be hearing a few of these 3MTs. Have you got a few that you like, or like a little sneak peek of what's coming up?
I like all of my HDR candidates the same. I don't have favourites, and in fact, even going into the UOW final this year, I could not pick a winner. It was a strong field. any of them could have won it. They all had fascinating topics, and they were so passionate about what they were talking about. And really, it's a shame sometimes that we do have to pick one winner, because they all absolutely deserved to be recognised that day.
So for students thinking about competing in this 3-minute thesis, what are the benefits firstly to doing it, as well as how do they get involved?
So as I said, 3MT is part of a larger program designed to improve your communication skills. Now, you could be the best researcher in the world, but if you can't communicate your research to another person, the research is effectively pointless. So 3MT is just an opportunity to participate in an event which helps you develop those communication skills. It starts off with a number of faculty events, and in fact, my personal preference is always going to be the faculty events. I think they're fantastic. It's when we can celebrate more HDR candidates. We listen to what they do, and you really sit there and go, wow, I didn't realise there were so many things that are important. All of a sudden, I've got so many more concerns about things, and I want to see progress on, something random like the sustainability of a particular frog environment. That was something that featured this year. After that, though, only 2 people from each faculty can go through to participate in the UOW final, and that is an extraordinary event. All of UOW gets behind them. It's a really good community event where we can celebrate all of the work that they do and come and support our HDR candidates.
Awesome. Thank you so much for chatting with us. Obviously, we'll be looking forward to hearing from the 3-minute thesis competitors themselves in the coming weeks. And I mean, that was Hump-Day Hangout as well for this week. I'm Dylan.
And I'm Hayley.
And thanks for being with us.